Okay then. Oh, hey guys, GalacticStorm here. Welcome to the show. And yes, I know I made a promise that I wasn't going to do another Command Conquer's Rivals deck. But this one, I made an exception on because I had some video left. So for this one, well, it's, as you can see, it works pretty well. And it doesn't use tech or anything of that matter. It's nice, simple, cheap, and it has a whole bunch of firepower and versatility. So, how did I get this deck? Oh, well, I just fiddled around and I got what I got in result. I know it's not the best when it comes to firepower, but hey, it works. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to this GDI deck. So this deck is a 2-3-1 variant, and a lot of these units that you would get, you get them right from the start, except probably for the JJTs. I think they're a little bit higher up, but otherwise this is a fairly easy and cheap deck to use. So we're going to be going to the barracks first, in which we have the rifleman, the scout, deal with other units, and just keep an eye on the battlefield. And then we have two choices to go through, depending on what the enemy does. If they're throwing in pit bulls or things like attack bikes or any other kind of vehicles, besides like chem buggies or that, this is when you should throw in the JJTs. The JJTs will basically slaughter any land vehicle that is not like a rhino, buggy, etc., etc. And those would really work in the other end too, because you can just rush in and go in for harvester hits too. Just don't do them right at the start, because I've seen a lot of people try and they really fail. So yeah. But if they are going for like war dogs, buggies, or even things like venoms, this is when we go in for the war factory. Now, for the first one, we have the Rhino. The Rhino will deal with most infantry on offer, except for things like multiple missile or laser squads, or things like mutant marauders or grenadiers. They will deal with most infantry, except for the ones that I mentioned, and they can deal with aircraft too. Well, just some of them. While they can't deal with things like orcas or banshees, they will deal with things like, I would say, drone swarms, laser drones, talons, venoms, those things. So yeah, that will be a great introduction into your anti-air. But if they are more reliable onto their air in that, and for other vehicles, the pit bull is the great answer, I would say. They do hit and runs. You'll be able to attack them with the ground and the air, and they'll take them down in a reliably cheap offer. But if they are really wanting to go in with heavier firepower in that, this is where the Predator tank comes in. The Predator tank will deal with, like I said, any heavy vehicle. But you could use like the versatility of the Pitbull or the JATs to help in with some mismatches. Like for example, if you have a Wolverine coming in or a Widowmaker, you can use the Predator tanks to deal with them. Or if you're going to be dealing with things like Titans, Centurions, and that, Predator tanks can't really deal with them. Likewise with Pitbulls, this is where the JJTs come in. So you can see the versatility of this deck. But then if you're going to be dealing with air units and seeing that this kind of lacks a little bit of anti-air, this is where the Talon comes in from the helipad. Well, it will deal with a good amount of infantry, where we're gonna be using it mostly for the air, and it will swat down Talons, Banshees, drone swarms, venoms, etc., 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 except for things like hammerheads or phantoms. That is when it's going to struggle with. But most of all, this is an aggressive deck. Use your rifleman first, and then choose from whichever one of the JDTs or from the War Factory, depending on what the enemy is going through. And then after that, use your pit bulls and the JDTs to protect the pads and to swat down harvesters and that. And then use whatever is necessary on what the enemy throws at you. And as for commanders, well, I've got three. The one that I use the most is McNeil. McNeil's reconnaissance field, it will slow the enemy enough that you can hold on to the pads, and you can just hold on to them until the missile hits, or just get them into a different position that would favor you. And those would really work, especially with the flying units and for the ones that would like to cause a lot more damage. But for the other two, I would recommend either Strong Arm for the anti-infantry and anti-air, or Jackson to help out increase the speed of your units, depending. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and look at my Facebook page down below. And this might be the last, I think this might be the last video that I would do for a deck, honestly. But I do have other plans coming in, and I hope you guys enjoy them while I try to enjoy the new PC that I got. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you all later.